quiet seaside town, an evil lain to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 170, the big 170. If that's the age that you are, you could have retired, twice? No, that's
almost 3
150.
times.
Almost 3 times. Thank you, Armet. I'm Lars Casteen. Welcome to the show, joined by Armet Humphreys. Hi, Armet.
Hi.
Welcome.
Good. This time.
Good this time. David, the Tin Man Chernicoff, also here.
Good that time, Lars.
Good that time. Robin Lange is here.
Good, your time.
Good, thank you. And, that's a new one. And Zoe Chernicoff is here as well.
Good retirement time.
Ooh,
Isn't
good-
that the best of all the times?
I think so. I hear about people who have trouble retiring, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
Like
you
how-
mean having they've successfully done the money part of it, but
yeah,
they're not
exactly.
doing the
no,
spiritual
I
part of it.
apologize. Yes. People are like, they just can't stop doing all the stuff they're doing. I'm like, I would stop doing the stuff I'm doing
No,
at the drop of a hat.
no worries.
I'll stop doing it yesterday if you need me to.
Yeah, the difficult part is going to be being
Solve
able
it.
to do that, not
Yeah.
being able to do that.
Right.
Right. I get it.
Right. The gateway, not the action.
Yes. Understood. I wasn't trying to say I don't understand how money works. That wasn't the claim that I was making. I was just saying,
fiat currency is confusing.
it is
In
confusing.
your defense.
Let's get into it.
Okay. If you were to start asking me pointed questions, I would, of course, be unable to answer
Yeah,
anything
no,
about
that's how most
basic
things in
monetary
this world
concepts.
are,
That's true. But you know what is also true is that before we get into our game today, we're going to talk about something. I don't really know much about this topic, but Robin suggested it. What are we talking
yeah,
about? We're talking.
I suggested I don't know an awful lot about it, but I've got a new obsession when I've got time to kill on YouTube,
Yeah.
which I get way too excited about,
Yeah.
which is Marbula 1 racing.
Okay.
It is it's one of 3 different racing marble racing sports I've learned.
It's marble racing. If I could just say, when you suggested this as a potential chat topic, I thought that you typed it wrong. I thought you just wanted to talk about Formula 1 racing. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, autocorrect got to that.
Yeah,
and
it's like I don't think these people want to talk about F1 racing. We probably want to talk about marbles. So okay, marble racing, I'll be the skeptic here. That doesn't make sense. Is that a sport? Don't marbles just roll down a thing? How could there be anything to this aside from
is
just
one
random
covered in
chance?
sandpaper so that Mew is way different? Like what's going to be
Yeah,
interesting?
what is the Mew? First off,
Go with
What's the Mew point?
So the first time I ever watched it was years ago, like as a classroom teacher. I was like, oh, good, this is a good kind of background thing. And it was a marble track that was carved into the sand, which is apparently marble rally racing, naturally.
Okay,
Oh,
that
of
makes
course.
sense.
Sure.
And occasionally I'll see it pop up and it's like, oh, that's kind of fun. I'll watch the, 10 minutes. It's interesting. But in the last like 2 weeks is when the new season has started. So they do seasons and everything. And each, they'll have one of the different types of racing going on during the season. And they have all of these teams and the teams all have names. They've created a whole kind of concept of this marble racing world in which marbles are real.
So do the marbles have to rest between the seasons? Is
So
that the
they
idea?
have, each team apparently has multiple marbles on it. And so the marbles do qualifiers.
Yeah.
So
love it.
the snowballs team has a bunch of different white marbles and different ones will be in the different races. There's 20 different teams. All the names A lot of the names are plays on the colors. Like all the cobalt marbles are all blue marbles. Cat's eyes are all cat's eyes. And
Okay.
here's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
So the
okay.
first time I turned it on,
Yeah.
I caught myself actually screaming along with it, like cheering the
Wow.
marbles on. The guy who does the narration is so good.
Okay.
I
Okay.
got so excited. The other night we had it, Chris was in the kitchen and I turned it on and he hears me just cheering on, like, come on, Momo, come on.
So this is packaged like it's an actual sport, but, and I just need to make this clear for myself, if for nobody else. It's not, right? Like there's no strategy, there's no human element. It's just marbles rolling down a track, right?
Yeah.
I haven't watched
There's
it, so I actually don't know.
No, there's no human element. The tracks are all different. They're really interesting. It's narrated as though like when one marble overtakes another marble, like, oh, look how he handled that curve. It's though you're watching, car racing.
And pronouns are used. It's not an it. It's a gendered. It's like a he, a her.
I actually
Is
don't
that
recall.
right? Is
I
that,
don't recall.
that's
It sounds like they're.
interesting.
I guess what I'm really trying to ask is they're anthropomorphizing.
I think they always use the marble's name or the team name.
So, but
I don't
like
think I
to
remember.
Zoe's point, it's like
Yeah.
it's
They're
like there's
anthropomorphized, not
strategy
gendered.
ascribed in the packaging. They're like they're overtaking them now.
Yes.
This is happening right now.
Right,
I
right.
gotcha.
Even though it's just physics.
It's
Well,
yeah.
this to me, the fact that this is exciting, and we should say there are a number of people in our Discord that talk about this a lot. There's a lot.
I didn't even know that. I
If you
gotta get on
listening to
there.
this, listener, are interested in this topic, I want you to know I'm
We've got a
asking
Discord
questions.
for
I'm
you.
digging deep because I'm trying to like get to the bottom of it, not because I'm like against it or for it or anything. But if you like this, you should come to our Discord because there is a lot of it happening like kind of all the time. To me, it sounds like it's a triumph of packaging and storytelling and like broadcasting and all of that. It's like proof that sports style packaging can make anything into an exciting, like heart-stopping thing
It is
for certain people.
I don't know which of these directions to go in first.
Just there's
Here-
no wrong
he-
answer.
Here they
Mhm.
are. Direction 1, that is a fascinating observation from somebody who loves pro wrestling.
Mhm.
Observation 2, the thing I was most surprised by about it is how actually exciting and sort of stimulating the races are.
Have you watched
Like-
them?
I've watched maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure I've ever watched one all the way through, so I can't.
It's surprising. I would expect the people here with kids to have watched this as well because this is
it's
a
like
great thing to put
actually
on for
kind of
kids.
cool. It's not hard to anthropomorphize them because of what they look like, all in the track, like moving. It looks exactly the way it would look if they were conscious beings jockeying
Mhm.
for position, and it is therefore exciting to watch as a race in a very surprising way. It is also then packaged very wonderfully that sort of amplifies it, but like
Yeah.
it's also just kind of like fun. I don't know, fun because it's fun. It does make one ask, like, what is it exactly that one is enjoying by watching other sorts of
Right.
athletic
Yeah.
competitions?
Fair enough.
Right?
Because it turns out it's not purely the like knowing that it's people doing it. It is also just the like watching of it happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm
Right? Like
And the
picking
communal
someone
experience
to
too
is
root
sober
for
to say anything more about this.
picking someone to root for the talent of the announcer. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there's
totally.
certain games where also watching them on TV can be more, like, it's a different kind of excitement to watching it in real life. When you're in real life, it's the power of the crowd that's exciting. When you're watching on TV, it's the talent of the announcer.
Yeah.
Makes sense,
It's
yeah.
the whole thing. I've been watching on the sidelines as people in our Discord have discussed this, and people get like really wound up about it. Like people have teams that they root for. They get upset when their team falls down the rankings. They're like people attached to the teams. Like, well, of course, like the Cat's Eye, they always cheat. Like the Cat's Eyes are like they're a dirty team. That's what
They
do.
definitely play dirty. Yeah.
And it's I don't know, having this conversation is enough to get me at least in enough to give it a shot. So
Go ahead,
I
pull it
appreciate-
up.
I
Pull up.
appreciate
It's
that.
10 minutes of your life. Watch it with your son. You'll enjoy it.
that would
And-
be really I'd love to see how he reacts.
And
to it.
you have to report back on how much you are enjoying the I can't imagine being like X team cheats about this. So maybe
Wait,
I'm gonna have to watch some more of this myself.
Okay.
But we need to get to the root of like, do you like this or not? And if so, what part of it?
All right. I'll check it out. I'll check it out by the next time we watch. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we'll do a little Marvel check-in.
I'd like that.
On our next thing. This is episode 170. We're breaking off of 5. That means a few different things. 1, we've got a whole new set of hero cards. 2, we've reset the hero points that every player has. And 3, we're going to take the opportunity right now to discuss some of the stuff that we've got going on right now in a promotional capacity. We are here to entertain you, to give you an exciting show, to hang out, to give you something nice. But on top of that, we've got stuff that you might not know about. And a lot of that stuff is on our Patreon. If you go to either tabletopgold.com and look for the link to Patreon or patreon.com/tabletopgold, you can find a ton of great content. We've been adding, we launched this thing at the beginning of the year, and we have been adding new episodes week after week after week. Ever since then, here's what we've added recently. We've been putting out episodes, as always, of The Gold Mine, which is our behind the scenes, our companion show. I think that those have been getting better and better and better. They've been fun. Armat and I do that one most of the time. Robin sits in from time to time. It's a nice conversation. We get deep into topics about role-playing games. We get deep into storytelling. We get deep into mechanics. If you like our show, I think that you'll enjoy hearing the stuff that goes into our show. And we talk about anything and everything on that show. So please check those out. We recently posted an episode of Film Debuff, our show, where we talk about games-related movies. We, this month, talked about in the spirit of dark fantasy movies having like a moment right now. Everyone's talking dark fantasy. People love spooky dark fantasy movies from the 80s. We watched the classic Ron Howard, George Lucas film Willow, and had I think like a wonderful time talking about that movie. I thought that was like a super fun conversation. I think that you'll enjoy that as well. And we have tons of more great stuff happening all the time. Support us on Patreon. We have great shows coming out all the time, and we need your support to keep this train moving. So please, if you enjoy this show, please, if you're interested in our content there, head on over and peruse the wares that we have for you, please. The other thing I want to talk to you about right now is our show on YouTube. We've got the watch party every week at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night. If you're not around for that watch party on Sunday night, you can watch the full video show anytime you would like to on YouTube as well. We mentioned the Discord. Here's what you can do. You can find the link to our Discord on our website. Again, tabletopgold.com. Please go there, hang out, submit hero point cards. All of the hero point cards that we use on the show are submitted from our listeners. And we've got a great community there as well. We've got special premium channels for people who are supporting us on Patreon. We have just added this last week our level 9 character sheets to the Discord. So if you want to take a look at those, if you want to get some more insights into how these characters are built now that we're at the 9th level, you can find them there at the Discord. And that's all that we've got to promote. So what do you say? Let's get into it. Let's play our game. Oh, I'm so excited. A recent conversation with the Caligny spellcaster Podley gave you some much-needed information about the recent events here on the 8th floor of the Abomination Vaults. Podley told you that Erthagul, a name you have heard more and more recently, is a mystic who resides in a cave to the north, and that the ghost of Belcora Haravex arranged obstacles between the Calignys and Erthagul as soon as she realized that the Calignys had taken up residence here in this temple. And with wisps and bog mummies blocking the way, the cult of Erthagul has been separated from their idol and withered into nearly nothing. Your current plan is to parley with Dulak, the Caligny cult's leader, to see if your shared antipathy towards Belcora could make for the beginnings of a productive alliance. But now that you've discovered Dulak's chambers, you've found her in a desperate argument with an unseen presence, talking to a wall her helpless face racked with torment. But before you could get her to talk with you, something appeared from behind a wall, and you got a good look at what it was that Duloc was arguing with. A floating, icy, colorless skeletal torso. So, the things I want to cover is that you've found Duloc. You see Duloc here. She looks desperate. This is a Caligny woman. She is very, very pale skin, very, very strong looking, wearing like super cool ass looking clothes. I don't know. I'm breaking tone here right now. It's just like the design of these Calignies is so intense. Let me show it to you one more time.
Her hat is so rad.
Yeah, her hat is super cool. She looks like she's from Mortal Kombat is basically, I think, like the way that the
really
art
good.
looks.
Or kind of like
Warhammer or
Psylocke from the
something.
Marvel
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
Yes. But she's looking desperate. You can see her eyes, and you got the sense before this creature emerged that she was being tormented by something. You can see that she is looking like she's going to attack you, but she looks conflicted. It looks like her heart is being torn in multiple different directions as this floating skull ribcage thing also enters your field of view. You guys had half of a plan when we left off. Like, Ao disguised herself as Podley, but then that didn't really come into play as you were exploring.
Hey, Ao decides herself as Podley, and then we didn't have her open any of the doors. I just
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I think that, here's what I'm going to say, is that I think that one train has left the station. The train of, like, Podley opening the door and Duloc believing that you are all, like, her allies. I think that opportunity has passed.
Seems like it.
But I want to talk about what potential we have here, just because I want to like follow up on Zoe's choice to become Podley, because I do think it makes sense. As we're almost like moving in slow motion, she turns towards you. You see the anguish in her eyes, and then this creature ominously like enters the room. We've got a couple moments here to do something. So this is a question that I want to ask you, and I guess this is mostly a question for Zoe. Do we want to roll this like Ao just wasn't paying attention, that Ao was doing other stuff, Ao was hiding, this plan just like didn't happen? Or do we want to try to tell a story that gives you some kind of benefit from being disguised as Podley as this combat is sort of getting off and running as we're kicking this off? What do you think?
Ao's not one to admit a mistake, so we're going to tell some kind of story here.
Okay. So here's my pitch then. Duloc, if she sees Mag open the door and then she sees a person that looks like Podley immediately behind this like stranger, this barbarian barging into her bedroom as she's having this like illicit, strange, angsty conversation with this creature, that she might see Podley and that might impede her ability to act at full capacity, as the confusion, as the, like, she's already in a weird mental state. And can we make that mental state weirder, perhaps, by doing a couple checks?
Yeah, I think that's right. I also think maybe Ao kind of realizing as Mag opens the door that she's fallen back and not taken advantage of what was, is it ever a well thought through strategy? I don't know. At least her strategy, let's call it, if we're not going to give it descriptors, has cast Figment. I don't know if this is a flavor Figment or a real Figment, and if I can get away with that.
Okay. What does Figment do? Help me out. That's a
it
new
helps
spell.
you create an illusory sound or vision. I think it's too late for her to Here's what she wants to do. Tell me if I can get away with this.
Yeah.
She wants to create an egg.
Okay.
Like one of the
A Chul egg?
The Chul eggs, and be sort of like I don't know, doing something with it, making a scene that it's gonna hatch maybe, or that it's hot and has gotten away from her in their like suddenly behind her she's sort of fumbling around with a fake egg, which I'm only doing because I assume the eggs in the bag of holding would not be available to her in the moment.
So I think that's interesting. I think that we might be a couple steps away from that. I like the idea of I just need so you can cast the spell and then you sustain it. So if what we want to do, let's tell the story of Ao slipped behind because instead of opening the door, she is casting the figment spell and generating the image of a Chul egg.
Yeah.
I'm going to give her the chance to see through your disguise. Okay. So essentially, she sees Mag open the door. Here's Podley holding this Chul egg right behind Mag. I'll give you a +1 bonus to your deception DC from the egg. You get another +4 to your deception DC from the magical spell that you're using to disguise yourself. And she's going to make a perception check to try to seek at Podley, at Ao, to see if she can see through this disguise.
And this has to beat my deception DC +5.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the egg, because you're using the knowledge that you have about the egg, and because of this magical
obviously
disguise.
because of the egg.
Okay.
I mean...
So she's doing
it was an excellent idea.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, that was good. That was good. We like that one.
Duloc rolled a 20 on the die
Oof.
on her perception check.
Oh, no.
Not a whole lot we can do about that.
That means that the perception that I just rolled was a 34. How does that... Go ahead.
That fails.
Oh, okay. So
Because
that
it's
means
plus 10 to my perception modifier, right?
Yeah. Plus the 5 that we talked about. What
Would be
is the DC that I'm
35.
trying to beat? Okay.
So
because of the
deception is
egg,
plus 20 now at level
Does the
9.
20 on a die like mean an automatic something or other? Or?
it automatically boosts the level of success. So she failed, and that gets pushed up to a success.
Wow,
right?
interesting.
So she doesn't get the critical success that she would typically get. I realize this is super. We're getting super crunchy. We're gonna get into the
Who's
story in just a
having
second.
Fun. The yoke is on you, audience member.
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I'm having fun untangling this this. I've been watching a lot of Columbo recently, and I feel like I'm getting into sort of like. I've got one more question for you, Zoe. What is your deception DC? Okay, so so she gets a success then, not a critical success. I think that still means that she sees through it. So she yells out at you in undercommon. She's like, "Yang yang bonobo," which means that's not Podley, but it is an egg. And she turns to this creature, this floating skull thing, and is like, "Why are you tormenting me? Why are any of you tormenting me?" And we're gonna roll for initiative.
Does that mean I can or cannot roll deception for my initiative DC?
I think a deception DC, or a deception check for initiative absolutely makes sense. So let's absolutely do that.
All right.
I was not expecting to pass that at all.
It's remarkable you got a 20 and then still that was not a critical success. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, it's a rule that doesn't come up a lot. It's one of those rules that you read and you're like, yeah, that's never going to happen. Which is like, if you roll a 20 on the die, but you still fail, it's not an automatic critical success. It just boosts the level up to up 1 from a failure to a success.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I've only very, very, very rarely seen that. So it was interesting that we got there this time. Okay. So here's the story. The 4 of you are bunched up in this hallway, Ao disguised as Podley sustaining the figment spell to create this egg, which will potentially be usable as a diversion against Duloc in the future. Mag has just opened the door. Her light shines into the room, blinding, it looks like, both of the creatures inside the room. Isthan and Trill are around the corner, maybe taking in this strange scene from a distance. You've all heard the voice of this floating skull rib cage, this colorless bone thing in your heads because it is speaking telepathically. So that is clear as a bell in your head. It is speaking another language. I'll tell you right now, it is speaking the language Caligny. None of you understand it. and it is saying menacing, ominous things as this combat jumps off. Duloc, before this creature appeared in front of you, looked conflicted. She looks even more conflicted now as she sees somebody pretending to be Podley in her doorway. You get the sense that she is going to attack, but you see remorse and sadness in her eyes as she does so. You see no such emotion in the eyes of this floating skull thing, though.
Thing rules.
Zoe, what is Ao's initiative here?
37. She's, I guess, the whole come from behind Podley fake egg thing's got her ramped up.
Anytime Ao can roll deception for initiative, it seems like it's a good call and it pays off. How did Istin do?
Not great. Got a 9 on the die for a 24. So I think, he's off thinking about the conversation they just had with Podley and how he's starting to realize that Podley was sort of a sad case and that he'd seen a lot of drinking as a Kalianite, but this is a really uglier form of that. And anyway, stuff along those lines.
Yeah, it turns out that having a religious belief just like cut down and just having it die out all around you as all of your friends get exploded, turns out that's bad. It's weird, but it also turns out it's bad. Okay, how did Robin, how did Trill do for initiative?
Trill did okay. She did 26.
Okay. Do you want to do a little battle cry
now,
here?
I had a question about that, because I think
Sure.
with where Trill is, she can't see into the room.
I am happy for you to maneuver Trill into a space that you can see into the room from. Like, I'm not at all precious about, like, tokens have to be where they are when I call for initiative. If Trill knew that she was going to be doing battle cry, she would have potentially positioned, like, behind Ao, theoretically.
That's very generous of you. Thank you. For battle cry, I can't remember. Do I do Dirge of Doom or do I do just a skill?
You just do a versatile performance.
Versatile
with
performance. Thank
yeah.
you. My brain just suddenly stopped working.
Hey, it's okay. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, starting a session with the amount of complexity of mechanics that we just dealt with, that scrambles me as well. Like I get it.
Well, that was thankfully my dice aren't scrambled because that was a 38.
All right.
Whoa.
38, that's probably going to do pretty good. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a critical success.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
okay. So he's now
Yeah.
frightened 2.
Frightened 2. Yeah, that's not great.
What
So-
are you talking
so-
about? That's fabulous. It's just how you want to
Okay.
start.
It's a matter of perspective. David, how did Mag do here?
Mag did very well. It's a 34 for Mag, which is
Okay.
a really nice roll. I guess maybe Mag got a whiff of conflict already in the room and was just in the ready position.
Okay.
Ready to rage.
A lot of things just happened very quickly in a few moments. I'm going to try to rattle them through. Mag opens a door, shines a light into a room, sees this woman arguing with a wall. The creature that she's arguing with passes through the wall as if the wall is non-existent. Then this Caligny woman sees Ao disguised as her like lieutenant in her cult, and immediately knows that this is not her friend. Then Trill starts screaming, and this skeleton creature flinches back for a moment, and Ao is going to seize the opportunity then to act first. To remind you of how Figment works, it's a spell that you sustain, so this egg will exist as long as you spend an action to keep it around, and you can use that egg and that Figment to launch into a create a distraction, create a diversion if you want to, but there's likely little need to do that right now, given that you are rolling deception for initiative and you are way out in front of all of your opponents. So.
Right. Ao is, what did Podley sound like, Lars? Remind me.
Hi, it's me, Bodley. I'm really cool.
Okay, so Ao, leaning into the moment of sort of odd braggadocio by conjuring this egg, moves up, sidles past Mag through the doorway. Hey, party poopers. And as she's doing that, the egg disappears, which I imagine would be sort of confusing, but she doesn't sustain it, so she steps in and the egg seemingly evaporates. I'm here to break up the fun, she says in Podley's voice, and deeming the skeleton to be the greater threat, first thing she does is fire an arrow from Chompers at the skeleton.
Interesting. It's an interesting situation with one enemy who is like laser focused on you and another enemy who seems conflicted.
Yeah, maybe we do non-lethal damage to her again.
Yeah.
Feels like.
Oh, yeah. That was a 29 to hit.
29 hits.
Ooh. And that is 20 points of damage.
All right, 20 points of damage to this strange floating. You feel, and I just want to mention, as soon as Ao gets up close to this creature, like there's a feeling of chill that permeates you. Like this is about as cold as you have ever been as you get up in this creature's face. But that 20 damage goes through, no problem. Guess what? You've got this new class feature this level, Debilitating Strike. If you hit somebody who's off guard to you, you get to either make them enfeebled or you get to slow their speeds down. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to enfeeble him.
Okay.
Cool.
So immediately off the bat, this creature is blinded by your light as they squint towards you, frightened too from Trill's song, and now enfeebled by being struck in a weak spot by Ao.
Heck yeah.
You might be making me shiver, but you're going down. She not so menacingly Podley's at it, and she fires one more arrow at it. And that is a 30.
That is a critical hit because of them being frightened, because of your Dread Striker feat, which makes them off guard to you. On the button, you just nailed it perfectly.
Wow.
That's
That's
awesome.
exciting. We're getting lots of edge case scenarios here. That is 42 points of damage.
God, what a turn.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
All with a weird Podley egg scheme. I don't know. It worked out.
And you see one of its shoulders like pops off and its arm is sort of dangling off of its clavicle in front of you as you massively debilitate this creature now.
My only sadness, if it dies before I can get to it again, will be that I can't TKP its arm back at it.
I think it's best to not live life with regrets. So
That's true. I needed to manifest that wish into the universe, even if it can't come to be.
Okay.
That's the turn.
Meg, you see Ao charge by you and go ape shit on this creature. What are you gonna do?
I mean, first marvel at it. Like 62 points of damage and enfeebling it. Oh, and while sounding like Jimmy Stewart or something.
Ace of Puka.
It's incredible. She'll enter the room, which means nudging past Ao, who has just nudged past her. And maybe she says something behind her, like, "We'd be on your side of this fight." And then we're going to start with an Earthbreaker strike against this floating foe. It's a 20 on the die.
Ooh, things are spicy tonight.
Oh, yeah. We've solved the riddle of the specter. You gotta draw a critic.
Nice. This is why initiative is such a big role, by the way.
Yeah.
Duloc came off of her 20 on her perception check against Ao's disguise with a critical failure, a 1 on the die.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see. Are we drawing the Ace of Spades? Is Mag going to do triple damage? It is the Ace of Spades.
Wow.
That's a lot of damage.
Finally.
I'm reshuffling the deck.
Oh,
About to
3
make
cards in that
62
time.
feel like a drop in the bucket.
mama.
Oh my God.
Well, so much for AO getting to kill this ghost with its own
Well, I'm glad I
skeletal
manifested the
arm.
dream.
God, I was really looking forward to using Vitality Lash. Guess don't need to.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I was really looking
So-
forward to bashing it with a hammer. All right.
Go
here-
ahead and roll damage and triple it, please.
Oh, it's a terrible damage roll. Oh, boy. I was at 2d10, on which I rolled a 1 and a 3.
Yikes.
So it's a 17 for the roll, so triple is 51.
And 51 points of damage is enough for Mag to charge into the room
All right.
and destroy this poor, frightened, enfeebled, blinded. It's just like, why do you have to be this way, guys?
In a way, I don't even know how to answer. I feel like at level 9, this party is so awesome now. I don't even know if we can help it.
Yeah.
And David, I'm going to tell you something. As Mag smashes this creature with this like reverse strike, it flies back through the wall in a strange way. It's just like whoop, disappears in front of you. You get the sense that there's something strange about this wall.
Maybe it's an illusory wall. I think Isthin would twig to
Well,
that.
somebody with some intangible skills should take a look at that.
I think you have another action.
I do have another action.
That's great. Sorry. As this creature gets blown apart and blasted through this illusory wall, Duloc just goes, and you see like anger and relief and hatred and confusion. She's all mixed up. She seems like just the full range of emotions going through her as you so handily destroy this creature.
It's been a very strange 8 seconds for her. Fake egg, not Podly, skeleton blown to bits.
Right. This would be pretty overwhelming.
It's frankly over-directed. Like if this were in a movie, you'd be like, well, guys,
Yeah.
like what's happening?
Yeah, we
in
need
this
to
movie?
cut some beats.
Yeah. Streamline it.
But it doesn't change the fact that she currently feels adversarial to us.
It's true.
All right. Then I would like to use my third action. I guess we'll have to disable her to talk to her. It's like such a shame.
Think with your mag brain, not your David brain, you know?
All right, I'll just grab her then.
Let's go out of initiative for a second. Let's get this grab attempt and then let's talk for a second.
Okay. It's only a 26.
Okay, well that 26, because of your Furious Bully feat that you took at level 8, is a success. Duloc is grabbed by Mag, and let's slip out of the action just for a second as she looks at you and says, What do you want? Who are you people? What's happening?
Mag is still raging, so she'd probably say something like, ha ha!
And she screams back in your face, ah!
We've met some of your compatriots.
Rachel Mag trying to talk is amazing.
She's like, what? What do you want? And I think at this point, both
Eartha
Istin and
Gull.
Trill can be in the room.
Okay.
Mag
you.
manages to. Eartha, you want to reunite with Eartha?
She says, sweet Eartha. Do you know can you? And she sort of, she looks at Mag for a moment, and all of this anguish in her face slips away from her, and she says, I've been a fool. And she sits down on this chair. She tries to motion to Mag, like, put me down. Put me down.
Yeah, and as she does this, her body, I'm guessing, would be physical tension is releasing. Mag's rage is abating, so the red glow that's been coming from Mag's eyes and from her hair and her hand and her gums is also starting to fade out, so that what has been a incredibly as everyone pointed out, bizarre series of events, and then just a very intense mood, sort of lurid red light glowing, reverberating everywhere, is also starting to dissipate. And Mag places her back down on the ground and lets her gather herself.
And she sits on this chair near this desk
Yeah.
that Trill seems to be standing on top.
Yes, Trill is standing on the desk. That was
Okay.
us.
And she
She's short.
she looks up at Trill and she's like, she puts her hands up in I yield. She drops this flail that she was holding and it clatters clang onto the floor. And she just says I'm so turned around. I feel as though my feet are coming back beneath me, but I have been turned about so many times. I don't know if I'm too dizzy to hold myself up.
Trill sits crisscross applesauce in front of Duloc and tries to very kind of kindly interact with her now. Trill asks,
We're here because Podley sent us. Podley told us we needed to come talk to you, but what was that skeleton?
Podley. And she points at Ao and she says, do you mean this false Podley?
No, the real Podley. This is Ao, you can just be yourself now, I think.
And Ao turns into Norman petulantly.
Cool. You
Evening, my lady.
do you. You do you. Great.
Duloc is like, are you a dentist?
Yeah, actually, you got a little bit of, and he takes his pinky finger and scratches it. A little bit of tartar. I don't know how many teeth we're dealing with here, but he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna wanna, hold on, and
You might not want to let him get too close to your teeth.
She says, my teeth are fine. I was just wondering if you were a dentist. I didn't mean anything by it. Listen, you also asked about that creature. You don't know them, of course. You come from above, right? Yes?
Yes.
That creature is something called, or I guess was something called, an Aub.
Ooh. Can I
Bless you.
make a recall knowledge check to see if Istin
Please
knows
do. I would
anything
love
about
it if
Albs?
Istin.
like
Yeah.
Alb, A-L-B.
AWB. I think that there's not really a knowledge check about this creature.
Really?
Istin searches his mind. What lores does Istin have?
Library lore? Maybe he came across
I like
it
that.
in
Give me a library.
an
lore.
obscure
Yeah.
random tome when he was wandering around the Foray Logos while his mom worked.
I'll take anything else, but it's gonna really be a stretch. Okay. Library lore check from Istin. You've never heard the name Aub before, and you don't have any it doesn't connect with what it is that you saw. Everything about this is strange.
I'm sorry, I know nothing about it.
Oh.
There we go.
But, I mean, Lars, what did you expect?
We can talk about that later.
I can't stop my bad jokes. You can only hope to contain them.
Okay.
Duloc, what is an Alb?
An Aub. My people, the Caligni, we get guidance and insight from Aubs. The great leaders speak with an Aub, and the Aub guides them. I took the Aub's appearance as a sign that I was a great leader. It convinced me that our choice to follow the visions of Earthagol were correct. But I feel so twisted about. Shortly after we found our sweet, precious Earthagol, the Aub came to me, and I thought that it would help. He spoke so sweetly, and he said he could help me. He said he could advise me. And he said that he would help me achieve what it is that I knew I deserved. But things started falling apart shortly after the Aub arrived. And I feel...
Norman giggles at this, remembering the skeleton exploding.
She says, "Are you a dentist? Is this a dentist? Is that a dentist joke that just happened?"
No, but you did remind you. Hold on 1 second. And he goes and pulls a tooth out of the skeleton's remains. Anyways,
So-
carry on.
In order to do that, you have to walk through this in this illusory wall.
Oh, okay.
Are you willing to do that? Do you want to just walk through this wall?
Yeah, let's be chaotic. Am I
Cool.
right?
So Ao steps through a wall that is completely matterless. It's this like stone wall. Ao takes a step forward and zoom, passes right through it. You see the bones of this Aub scattered around the room as the trajectory from Mag's hit knocked it through this wall into this little chamber. This room is like barren, empty. It's like the room of a 24-year-old like single man. It's terrifying. There are no decorations. There's nothing on the walls. This is the room of
Not
a creature.
even the John Belushi college poster?
No. They outgrew it
Wow.
and they grew into nothing else.
To nothing.
So this is a shot that would be posted in the male living space
Yes.
subreddit.
Yeah, it's like this Aub, you get the sense that it has been spending all of its time just going like, just like whispering telepathically stuff at Duloc, staring at a blank wall in this featureless room. It's weird. But Ao is able to retrieve this tooth that she's looking for.
And realizing that everyone's been waiting for Norman, he shrugs sheepishly. He's like, "Sorry, were you talking? Go on."
It then starts putting his hand through the illusory wall to speak.
Yeah, it's like it's not there. It's your arm just disappears.
I love
And
it.
it's like a strange experience to see just stone and arm intersecting and nothing happening and no interaction.
Honestly, if this was in an apartment in Absalom, that would drive the rent way up. Get all
She
that
says,
extra space and a illusory wall. It's an open concept, but it's not.
Great for storage, keeps things out of sight.
I mean, there's so many ways to use that.
She continues. She's like, I was wrong to trust him instead of trusting in sweet, lovely, precious Earthagol. So I guess I owe you thanks. Hopefully it's not too late for us.
Now, I'm still trying to understand. We want to help you get back to Earthagol.
You do? What?
Because, well, here's the thing. There's an old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And you, my friend, I bet also hate Belcora.
Belcora, the ghost. Yes, that ghost, the ghostly woman that she arrived, she scowled at us, and then I cannot say honestly that things fell apart after she separated us from Earthagol. I fear that this Aub has poisoned us long before then, but yes, of course, she's our greatest enemy. Yes.
Ours too.
What?
So,
Earthagol smiles upon us all.
Well, like some of us are kind of in awe about her ability to harness the light.
I'm
Norman
hearing
sort of
all
quietly
of
whispers.
that. Ew.
Mag's knuckles can be heard cracking.
so, if we can help you get back with Earthagol, can we get the support of the Calignis?
Yes, of course. We would do anything for you if you brought us more eggs so that we can worship him fully. If you can remove the wisps, the mummies that ghost put between us, of course. I don't know what I could offer you though. Our numbers have collapsed. And she thinks for a second. She says, I believe I have something that we can offer. Galudu, my former friend.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Galudu? Not Ugulu?
No, it's Galudu.
I wrote it down wrong? Okay, cool.
You did. Thank you. We traveled here together, but she does not believe in the visions of Earthagul. She is an apostate, but there is still love between us. If you help us, we can help you. If Galudu does not receive positive word from me, there's little chance that she will let you pass through her territory unharmed. So perhaps that is what I can offer you in return. If you bring me more eggs and clear the blockage between us and Earthagul, I will tell Galudu to let you pass through her territory, a short distance below here. And if you'd like to, you can use our modest lodgings here as a safe place to rest, perhaps.
That's not a bad deal.
It's very generous.
And we have the eggs.
We have
We
some.
don't-
Oh yeah, we got some.
What
Norman.
is the deal with the eggs, by the way? Why do you smoke them?
They bring us closer to the frame of mind that we must be in to commune with Earthagul.
Is it just
And-
like an associated... Oh, no, sorry. Continue, please.
And Earthagul is at times quite hungry, and if we bring him an egg after it has been appropriately smoked, he will eat it and then bless us with new visions.
Hmm.
Yes.
Fascinating.
What are your visions of? That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you. This is something, it would be sacrilege for me to utter the details of a communion with Earthagul to you. You must experience it for
I
yourself.
was gonna say, do you think if we get rid of those wisps and help you do that, we could get some cool visions?
You seem like a bunch of cool people to me, so I think that should be totally bitchin' for you to do.
Wicked.
None of us are cops, you know. The cops were here because of us, but we're not with them.
You have to tell me if you're a cop.
Yeah, we're not
You know
narcs.
that, right?
Right. No, that's written into the Absalom Constitution.
So yeah, it seems like the deal that she's proposing to you is clear these obstacles between us and Earthagul. You get passage down through the lower levels where more Caligni live, and
We learn how to make hallucinogens.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a win-win right there.
Yeah, I think Trill's, games.
And there's no fine print on this in terms of sacrificing someone's soul or something sort of morally dubious that hasn't come up.
Not that that's a deal
Still-
breaker, of course.
Not over that.
Yeah, we got to work on processing
Processed.
that now.
Yeah.
The main thing that you get from her is that it's like she had ambitions. She had an idea of what this would be. Those ambitions have failed. And she is interested in making a deal with you to just try to hold on to the thing that she believes in.
Yeah. I think this is kind of a
The thing she believes in
side
seems super messed up.
We still don't understand what Ursagol is.
Yeah.
You sure don't.
I'm really
I can't
excited
imagine it's
to.
bad.
Because she won't describe Ursagol, will she?
They've described Earthagul as large
Large is all we got.
and strong and beautiful and sweet and precious and kind.
God, I'm picturing Cthulhu.
This all sounds great.
I was thinking
Maybe
of
it's like a
big mushroom monster.
like a friendly
for that.
mountain, like a mountain with a smiley face.
Yeah.
I have a real specific idea in my mind of what this mountain would look like, and I'm kind of trying to. Yeah, it would maybe something like this.
Aw,
I'll
love
put this in the. I'll put this in the.
It's like a very
on the-
specific-
I'll put it on screen.
Yeah,
It's a-
very specific
I
type
would
of
worship
line
the shit
drawing.
out of this Earthical.
It's an uber kawaii mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a friendly line drawing.
It's Earthical.
Aw.
That's a gong.
Love it.
Aw.
That's for you, Armat.
Thank
you.
So Trill.
For
Thank you.
audio listeners, David posted a minimalistic triangular smiling mountain. It's just pure joy in the form of a mountain,
Yeah.
basically.
Super
Very
cute.
cute.
It's the cutest mountain you can imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Trill asks Duloc if she can show us the way to the path that we need to clear to get to Earthical.
She says, of course, please come with me. And she gets up and starts walking through the hallway, past all of you, into this main chamber, where you fought the 5 cultists initially. This chamber that has the embers of smoking eggs and has a number of fallen Calignes in this room. She looks around and she's like, "Holy shit! What happened here?
It was like this when we got here.
Oh, things have really gotten messed up." And she walks across the room, sort of hobbling. She looks like maybe she hasn't eaten very well for a long time. Like she's withered away from her like engagement with this alb.
Mag, give her a snack.
Meg reaches into the snack bag and produces a trail mixy kind of.
Ooh, is Mag a GORP lady, or does she add some fun stuff in there?
She's pretty Spartan about it.
Yeah.
And she says, "Thank you so much. It's no chulag, but it's pretty good. Thank you. You have shown me a great kindness. I do pray that you are successful in clearing the way to our sweet Earthical, but the obstacles in your path are going to be quite formidable. I hope that I see you again, and I hope that you have good news for me." And she motions towards this door in the northeastern corner of this chamber, and she says, "There is a stair that leads up from here. I dare not enter it because that Belcora that you say, she has placed horrible screaming shadows, terrifying flashing wisp creatures on the stair.
Don't
And-
worry. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
It's not a ghost, it's a common misconception.
I
It's
hate
not even
wisps.
incorporeal.
Oh, right. Oh, I see.
You hate wisps. Good.
I might be scared of that then, I suppose.
I hope you can channel that hatred as we have tried to do for so long and failed.
Right, yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks, and maybe eat something.
I'm eating this GORP. It's delicious. Thank you.
Great, good, okay.
Trill starts to head over. Does Mag want to lead the way as usual?
Probably. Is there any advantage? I guess AO doesn't look like Podley anymore. I was going to say, is there any advantage to looking like someone who's supposed to be there? We know that the wisps are effectively Belcora's, like ring door cams. Like,
Totally.
That's a great description.
so if we walk in front of one, it's gonna clock us, and Belcora presumably will show up.
It's okay. We'll kill them right away. Oh,
Is that the lady with the wisp
That's a-
phobia?
yeah. That's why Trill's on a mission now.
It's a good plan on paper. So anyway, I mean, like we can address Belcora again if she arrives.
In some way, I think Istin, his thinking would be like, that's what we're here to do. Like, if she comes, that's our job. Like, and if she
Yeah.
wants to come visit us and make it easier, like, I think structurally, he wouldn't be able to think like, oh, there's more in this dungeon that we haven't seen yet, you know? Like, he'd be like,
Right, that's kind of metagaming.
Exactly. He'd be like, well, you know. So anyway, that I think is where his head would be at. But
Yeah, okay.
at the same time,
then-
maybe we talk
yeah, go
through a
ahead.
contingency if she does show up.
Right. I think that's where maybe what that thought turns into then for. So is everyone ready? I don't know as much about what you casters require.
Let
I'm
me
ready.
check my spells.
I got ghostly touch. Should you need it?
Oh, that's great, Cheryl. Yeah. I've got a little bit of a grab bag of things. I think some of them could come in handy, though.
I got some cool new 5th rank shit.
Oh, I could turn AO invisible for a whole fight.
Oh, I could do that. Although it's not really the whole fight, because once the thing with invisibility is once. They
Oh,
do
right, but
something
mine's
hostile,
upcast, so she stays invisible afterwards.
So it sounds like the party is feeling bullish on their new abilities, and seems like you've got options in place for ghosts, whether it's the ghost touch spell, these ghost charges that AO is carrying. So if you anticipate seeing Belcora, you have tools at the very least in place.
Yeah, there's some extra ghost charges in the bag of holding, so Mag will give one to each person. So she reaches in and then she like, there's a very, very almost imperceptible letting out of breath when she sees that the cold iron chunks have fallen out of their container and need to be regathered.
I think Istan will pass his ghost charge to AO, just being like, I'm terrible at throwing things. I'm okay at, swinging for ball base, but, yeah, I was a terrible fielder.
Norman commences juggling them, with the third item being more foxfire that he's...
Right, I could never do that, for example. That's really fascinating, actually. Do you practice that? I mean, you just do it so fluidly.
He winks. I'm a natural.
Right.
So Istan passes an additional ghost charge on to AO, and it seems like maybe it's time to open this door then. Okay. I'm guessing that Mag is scouting. Trill is searching.
Scouting for enemies.
AO
Yep.
is hiding, I'm guessing, avoiding notice.
Yeah, looking for traps and skulking along.
Okay. Mag pushes the door open. And you all step into a long chamber that has stairs carved into the rock. There are sides of the sides of this staircase are dotted with nooks, 2 of which contain something familiar to you. Stone basins filled with muddy water. Those stone basins contain what you're expecting. 2 will-o-wisps. However, these 2 wisps have a sort of eerie, gray darkness radiating from them. And they have the mandible of almost like a saber-toothed tiger floating inside a ball of shimmering silvery light. They see you. They shake about in this basin that they're both floating above. And they scream this sort of distorted, nasty scream. Please, I beg of you, roll for initiative.
Wow, have we ever rolled for initiative in 2 separate fights in one episode in this show?
Oh yeah. Usually when one
Not
is a really
since
small
level
one.
1.
I was going to ask if Trill could, if we could just knock over the basins.
I mean,
Get out of
When
here,
Dale was
Wisp!
hiding. Are we good with stealth?
yes, absolutely.
Since Trill was like expecting this, could Trill roll occultism?
Sure.
She was looking for that. Sweet.
Okay. So the four of you step into this stairway, and these two wisps flanking you on either side, the right or the left, about 10 feet up these steps. These wisps turn towards you and attack. I want to get a sense first off of what is Ao's initiative looking like.
I guess faffing around for the whole episode is coming home to roost. It's a 25 for Ao.
Okay. How did
Norman Ao.
Armat? How did Istin do here?
Trill did pretty good, is my understanding. Istin actually was sort of on the ball. I think he was charged up probably by the idea of confronting Belcora and getting his game face on. So he got a 30, which is pretty good, I think.
Okay. Pretty quick, faster than he has been going. Robin, how did Trill do? And let's get a battle cry going.
Thank goodness you let me roll with occultism, because I rolled a 2 on the die, so at least you still got a 22.
I could sense it. I knew it wasn't going to matter.
It mattered a bit. I mean, it mattered by 4 points. My occultism is so strong now.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and throw that first held performance in. Oh, another bad roll. That was a 24.
A 24 versus the will DC of this creature is a failure.
Dang.
You scream at this wisp, and the wisp just goes...
Okay.
and is unaffected. Okay. And how did Mag do?
It's only a 21. Trying to figure out how that would be. Shit, slippery.
It's so slippery. I mean, it makes sense. You're stepping back out into this swampy stair. Like, this stair is in the swamp again. You're in the exterior again.
Yeah.
There is algae. There is
Yep.
modded. The smell of decay once more afflicts you, and Mag is slipping and not getting off the starting blocks the way that she should. Speaking of the starting blocks, the first thing that's going to happen is that the dread wisp on the eastern side of the staircase starts floating towards you.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna bash it with a hammer.
I'm going to bash you with a hammer.
Can't wait to bash it with a hammer.
The wisp sees Trill screaming at it, and it floats right in her direction, somehow actually bypassing Mag's reach as it does so. I didn't do that in a funky way.
No.
It just moved through spaces that as Mag tries to get a beat on it, it just floats towards her. This silvery skull floats towards Trill and reaches out towards her and brushes against her, and Trill feels herself getting afflicted by its attack. That is a terrible roll,
Yes.
a 19 to hit.
And that definitely misses.
Okay. It tries one more time. This time a 30 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay. So Trill feels herself taking void damage.
Ooh.
I don't like that.
27 points of void damage as Trill feels the life getting sucked out from her.
Again.
And that is it for the wisp. It is now Istin's turn.
So yeah, I think Istin will just kind of
Get it with a hammer.
get off the blocks and stride into the room. Just a little pass, so he's on the first few steps. And then he is going to target the wisp attacking Trill and just do a big overhand smash down on it with his staff. His magic isn't going to do much of nothing. 33 to hit.
33 hits.
Awesome. That is not a great damage roll. 11 damage, but also 1d6 persistent vitality damage.
That's very interesting. Okay, so that bludgeoning damage all goes through, and you see that this this sort of shimmering, holy, like, life energy is wrapped around it, and it seems like it is eating through this silvery light.
Yes.
Like, to an astonishing degree.
Oh,
Nice.
love it. Yeah. And then I guess Iston's just going to swing at the thing again. Like, is a 20 on the die going to do it?
Yeah, it's going to do something.
Oh, look at
Cool.
you.
That's cool.
You gotta draw. Nice. Brand new set of 13 spades. Let's see if we get the ace.
Nice.
The
It
5
would have been
of
fun if it
spades.
came up again.
That would've been
We
nice.
admit
It would've
that.
been- it would have been
That
fun.
would have been
Yeah.
first, yeah.
It's the 5 of spades. So I'm taking just regular old double damage.
Yeah. So that is going to be 44 points of damage.
Okay, 44 points of damage. Your vitalizing rune does stuff especially to undead creatures. This is not an undead creature, okay? But your critical specialization, you can knock this creature away if you'd like to.
I don't think I will on this.
Okay.
It doesn't, I think, for targeting purposes, hopefully Mag will get a crack at it before it gets to go again.
So Iston runs up, strikes twice, a massive
Off guard.
strike with this second hit, and as Iston stands in front of this wisp, he sees the skull of this wisp rotate around, and it looks face to face with Iston, and it starts flickering like.
Oh, don't like that.
And I need Iston to make a will save
Okay.
as he ends his turn within the dread flickering of this wisp.
Ooh.
I love that my will saves just got better at level 9.
No, stop it. We'll do that next time. See you next week.
Sorry,
Lars
dude. I didn't
claws
mean to
back to level up.
interrupt that.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
He takes a level away from you. You're now level 4.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be much
No.
easier to kill now.
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated fan content policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. The Roots of Ruin is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Visit our website, tabletopgold.com, to learn more about us and our shows, join the Golden Horde to get access to more shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.